Hello, welcome to Game Day Live here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. It's midday, just about. Just want to hang out for a little bit, chat to some of you here, see where you're at, see what's happening. If you want to come in, join the conversation, feel free, and we'll have some fun. I'm going to put the link in the chat, actually. That's what I'm going to do. Hey, Tritter. How are you? Who we got here? I'm going to put the link in the chat now if you want to, someone want to call in, share some thoughts before tonight, share with me your game day routine. What are you doing right now? Is it lunch break? Have you got a day off? Let me know. What up, Az? Brody, up and about. Sayaf, hello, bro. Good to see you. One sec. Gucci fella, how are you, mate? Lana, hello. Hey, Maz. Archo, you're off school today. Currently don't know what to do with myself. Just waiting for the game. Honestly, same. It's kind of why I'm live at the moment. I'm like, what are we going to do? Should we just hang out, do something random? So, yeah. Let me pin the link to the top of the chat. Anybody wants to come in and join me, please feel free. I will pin the link to the top of the chat. I've put it in there. Just got to click it and you'll come in. Where are we? We're here. I also wanted to watch Chris Scott's press conference. And the reason why I wanted to watch it yesterday, but maybe not so much to bring it on the Carlton team show. But I wanted to watch it to see if there were any hints because they haven't named a ruck, like an established one. J-Man, unfortunately due to work commitments, I can't watch tonight. Wow. So are you watching on delay? What's the story? Peter V's on a lunch break. Hello, mate. Lou, got the day off today. How good. Driving an hour to the boys for the game tonight. Where are you from? Where are you driving in from? Brody, you're going to the G now? From where? Where are you going? Blues for life. We are good. Exams done yesterday. Congratulations. What year level? Exams? What's that like? Yeah, what year level are you? Maz, you're a bit unwell. It's no good. I'm going to bring up, I want to see if we can find any bits of information with Chris Scott's press conference. So I'm going to play it shortly. Gold Coast to Byron Bay, New South Wales. Wow. I'm feeling a lot more confident. I remember I went through and watched the review last time we played. And I remember a lot of the sentiment was, the players that we didn't have, particularly in the back line. I think Sard and McGovern help us defensively. I think defensively that was a big issue for us the last time we played. So because of that, a lot more confident. I think we'll get the job done. I hope. Aura 1989. Pop my Achilles at bounce at a kid's birthday party, chilling. Oh gosh. Speedy recovery. That's nasty. Year 9. School makes you do them, so glad they're over. Wow, year 9. Yeah, that was a long time ago for me. It's crazy to be saying that now. J-Man in bed by 6 p.m, starting work at 1:30 a.m. Planning to join you for the fan cams next weekend after the Richmond game. Awesome. Well, you know what? We'll probably be on the fan cams tonight until about 1:30 in the morning. I won't get home until probably 11:15 at the earliest. So I have a feeling it's going to be one of those late sessions, but it's Friday, so that's fine. Brody coming from Dandenong. How good. Michael Dimu, organize a tipping comp at work and send out email previews each week. What's a great one-liner I should add in for our game tonight? Okay. What's a great one-liner? Well, chat, help me out. As in a great one-liner as like a reminder email to send out to people to get their tips in? Tipping comp at work, email previews each week. Great one-liner. Don't know why the phrase Blues Clues has come up. Get your Blues Clues in. No, that's weird. Let me think about it. Blues by 23. Say off when my dad plays, all is well. Hashtag woof. He is absolutely going to play well tonight. There's my big prediction. Sard plays well, can see 25-ish possessions, 580 meters gained type game. Elijah Hollands at the MCG lights him up. Yeah. Hey, Ollie, as you're from Dandy as well. Part of our future, absolutely. Can't wait to see the matchups tonight. The bigger the margin, the longer the fan cams. Yeah. We broke the record last fan cams. We hit the 3 hours. So I say this every game day, like to have a nap. I try and have a nap, but just way too wide. We're doing a one-liner for, hang on a minute. Yeah. If anybody can help out Michael, he's organized a tipping competition at work and he sends out email previews each week. What's a great one-liner I should add in? Oh, so it's a one-liner for our game tonight. Okay. Revenge is a dish best served blue. That's all I got for you, mate. Yeah. Definitely feels like a finals game tonight after looking at draw in have the baggers finishing with 48 points. Reasoning why Fantasia over Motlop. Mate, I wish I knew. Clearly, Motlop's not going to be playing that role. There's an argument to be made that that role is going to be performed by Cottrell when Cottrell's back. But really, who knows? Like, I don't know. Because it's the role Fantasia plays is not that of a small forward. So I don't think it's as simple as why isn't Motlop in? I think what it says is Motlop's going to have to try and force out someone like a Matt Owies. Durden's playing, so there's that as well. But it seems like they're being a little bit more or extra cautious with everyone, really, which was probably the criticism of what they've had, earlier in the year. Hoping that maybe Cowan runs with Cameron all night. Yeah, who knows? Anyone remember the Blues v Cats 2016? Won by about 4 goals. One of Armfield's best games. Was this the game where he kicked 4 that day? Pretty sure. Yeah, Nathan, it is going slow. Absolutely. Let's not have Zach Tui kicking 3 goals tonight. That'd be nice. Archo feeling a 94-point win. Ugh, it's big. That's a big call. Pleasure, Michael. Do I feel this lineup is our best? That's a good question. What has been our best lineup all year? Let me get it up. That's a really good question. Is this the best lineup we've had all year? Mm, think maybe the Fremantle game. And true, say off, there is no best lineup. The best lineup will change. Last week was the best. Yeah. It's pretty solid. Having these two here is the big difference from last time. And this guy, Fogarty, massive difference. Blues look like they have another level they haven't quite been able to reach just yet. Yeah, I hope that this is all going to be the start of finding that level just in time for finals. I think we also have to consider Motlop is coming off 3 injuries. That's true. Hey, Jay, good to have you here, man. We've lost with a full midfield before. Don't take much from lineups. It's true. It's all about roles and how they're performed. Brody, you enjoyed the video with the besties. It's good. Yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. It's the first time I've had that kind of a chat with the girls, or the ladies, I should say. Yeah, I think it's an important conversation. I mean, it was pretty surprising to me to hear them say that, in their experience, the majority of what they experience online from men is negative. I think there's an initial shock factor, and it's like, no, well, it can't be all men. It's not all men, and I think that point there was the real interesting one that is probably the reason why the conversation has to happen. But I think the girls know that they've got a lot of support from all of us. And yeah, glad you enjoyed it. The Brisbane game round 1, that was solid. It's the best mid back. Still waiting for the lock on the forward line. Stengel to kick a bag. Who does play on Stengel tonight? I think this is a Boyd job. Personally. If you want to talk about the best lineups, go back to Collingwood this year. Stacked midfield versus undermanned midfield. The rest is history. That's true. Since Sard, Gov and Fogg have come back, we have looked like contenders. Yeah, that's spot on. Pito is playing a game in the VFL. No rush to get him back. I did see the stuff with AFL Central / Sench Footy. To be honest with you, this was why I didn't have the word Blues or Carlton in the name of this whole channel, because anytime the AFL is a different beast to Clubland. First of all, the AFL own the trademarks anyway, but to have the letters AFL and then something, it was always going to happen at some point. I'm glad that they were able to reach some sort of a situation where the page could still run. But in my view, this is the problem. This is a problem. You've got an attitude of, what he's done with the page. I don't know his name. What he's done with the page is remarkable. Rather than blocking him off, don't you think he's shown an ability to be able to grow a community online like that? So in that case, why aren't you bringing him in? Why aren't you bringing him into AFL House and saying, wow, you've done something really remarkable here. Hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. You've built the page over a long period of time. Come in and work with us. I think content creators, ultimately what we do for the game is we spread awareness of the game. Obviously here it's Carlton, but on a deeper level, it's really, we talk about the game, and this is really how we're going to be able to reach a potentially international audience. Like, I know that we get a few internationals that watch here, and I think this is a really big problem in the AFL. It's an attitude of, I think you should be embracing your content creators, but I don't. There is this other part to the story where there's an attitude of, oh, well, you're already doing content for your clubs, so you're not going to be bringing in anyone new. Well, that might be true, but what you are doing for the greater good of the game is bringing people into the game and teaching them about the game. And I think for some reason that's getting overlooked. Hey, Pommy.
Hey up, how we doing?
I'm good. I'm just talking about, the Sench Footy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what your thoughts are about AFL content moderation. This could be an hour-long chat here.
Well, if Pom ever wanted to get copyright struck, Terry's set him up here. To be honest, I think it's ludicrous. I mean, long story short, I did some football videos for World Cup. I'll never forget it. I did 32 videos, all about each individual nation, a little bit of history about that country, but also some highlights of players that you might see. And I got copyright struck for one of the videos out of 32 from FIFA themselves. And I appealed it because I was like, it's weird that you've let 31 through and one didn't. And long story short, I won the appeal. It stayed monetized. But then I'd got an email back like 3 months later, and it was a lovely, lovely email, but it was basically, this is what you'd done wrong. This is what we advise. This is an area that you can use and how you clip up highlights, and this is what we'd prefer you to do, and this is how we avoid the spiders and the automated thing. And then at the back end of it, they said, we really thank you very much for the content you create. And it got me thinking that you think about football versus AFL, you would imagine that their copyright is so much more important because everyone knows about football. So the Euros, Copa America, the Premier League, Serie A, they don't really need you to know about it because everyone knows about it. So you would thought that the monetary value of highlights is king. Their mindset is a little bit different in the terms of every eye and every discussion is probably more money to them as opposed to just stopping highlights. So I agree with what you just said before we came on air, Terry. Like the AFL, let's be honest, it's in the sporting equivalent of things, it's like Monopoly at Christmas in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Only a few people give a shit about it. So the idea to me that you can be like, you would no idea at home how stringent the AFL are. We're talking 3-second clips.
Yeah.
And they will peg the whole 1 hour video, 2 hour video. That there is no working with the AFL. There is no working with the AFL on this. The minute you show any footage, they down the video. And for me, that is counterintuitive. I understand streaming games and stuff, but 5-second, 10-second highlights to complement an original video could do the world of good to AFL, and especially when you've got so many foreigners talking about the game. You've got me, you've got a load of content creators growing up, all the Americans. This is a market where we could probably do the hard work for you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're talking about AFL Central, and I mean, I don't know what actually happened. Like, he must have been sent something from the AFL, but why not bring him in? I'm echoing. Am I?
It's probably because it's called AFL Central, though, isn't it? That's where we are now. We are in a Sue culture. Like, if I was in AFL House, I'd see what the young lads did at AFL Central. They condensed games into microcosm pictures with a brief little summary of what went on. And you've got to look at how people digest media. Like, having kids, I'm in that hybrid. So when I talk to my father-in-law, he likes a physical paper. He's still one of them people that likes something tangent that he can touch. Where I'm quite comfortable going on the heraldsun.com.au and reading it, because I'm that generation where I was used to reading a screen somewhat. And then the next stage is my kids. My kids, when they heard about anything in the news, so let's look at Donald Trump when he stormed Capitol Hill. my kids watched YouTube videos explaining what that was. So you see, the three different mediums was Pop read about it, Daddy went and read the internet, and David and Zane they wanted to watch a YouTube video condensed 2 minutes, someone telling what happened. So that's what the AFL need to realise. Not everyone is 65 years old and wants the old, oh, let's buy the record. It's shifting, and you've got to kind of move with the times, haven't you? And I think the AFL, like, honestly, like, let's be honest, the AFL was still in 1988. When they realise Eurasia are no longer top 10 musical artists in the world, they'll be fucking shocked.
Yeah. Well, Woody, you're here. You asked the question.
Yeah, mate.
Woody,
I suppose for me, it's a bit of a question of like, I think there's a lot, as you've said, a lot of other sports that have capitalized on this. If you look at, say, Sench, and you mentioned maybe bringing him on board, the NBA has taken a few people like that. There's Kenny for real. I think he goes by King of the Fourth Quarter under some things, but he's been adopted into NBA real media in a lot of regards. If you're going to kind of separate YouTube media and the social medias, but yeah, I think it's a lost opportunity for the AFL, and I don't see what the massive hesitancy is. I mean, I think it might just come down to kind of licensing with Fox and things like that, but I don't know. I was wondering if you guys had more sort of information in that regard.
I guess my information just comes from experience. I sense this attitude. Wait, I'm echoing from somewhere.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's me, guys. It hadn't happened since I jumped on. Give me a second.
Oh, wait a minute.
Make sure you're muted.
Is it you, Pommy?
Probably. Is that better?
Okay. I think it's better. It's better.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I've noticed an attitude. If you are a content creator, I mean, there's this fan attitude of like, oh, you're a nuffy, you're a super fan, you're a nuffy. We are obviously crazy about our clubs, but there's this other hidden connotation behind the word, which I find is in the industry. They sometimes call you a super fan, they sometimes call you a nuffy, and it almost is a term of degradation in a sense, and you're not taken seriously because, like, what would you know? You're just a fan. Which
I've seen Jake got that a little bit with the media and in the Today shows and stuff like that too.
Correct. And there's this underlying disrespect, which I love because it kind of gets me going to prove that, hang on a minute, I can do anything. I can do anything I put my mind to. And I think once we start getting over that and we start working together a bit more as an industry, and when they start realizing that content creators aren't just random, like, we're not just random people. There are a lot of random people that'll just talk shit. But I mean, I think one thing we pride ourselves on here in particular is like bring some education to the piece. I mean, we use algorithms, we use all sorts of things to try and like elevate the conversation here. And I think that's part of the problem, the attitude towards the content creators.
Yeah, I can, and I kind of see it as well. Like you see very similar ideas from like the content media be filtered through sort of the traditional medias, and I wonder, because I've gone through a bit of the AFL Reddits and things like that, where there's been a lot of suggestions of media being taken from there. I wonder if it's kind of hindering the AFL in some regards because they're not getting on top of all this extra media that they could produce, and then from them it's like lost revenue, loss of like IP as well. So I can kind of understand where it's coming from, but I don't think they're seeing the potential positives that you've said. I mean, these communities develop what is kind of important about AFL in everybody says about the cheer squad and kind of getting them involved, but their involvement is the community of say the Carlton Football Club or whatever club it is, and those communities grow when people like yourself are involved in making things happen on the outside.
Yeah, I just don't think they need to be scared of the fans. I think you can embrace the fans. There are some fans that are just crazy and wild and eccentric. There are some that are more balanced. There are some that are a little bit of both. Like ultimately, we're passionate, and that's what makes us what we are.
I mean, in terms of crazy fans, I believe one of Dusty's mates ran on the field and got banned. So, like, I
Brayden
mean,
Maynard. Yeah.
yeah, Maynard's mates. That's right. So it's where's the line, Like what? So
You know what I find fascinating about it is that I see AFL very like how the soccer world was when I grew up. So when I was a kid in the 90s, which feels like a lifetime ago, it's 30 years ago. Jesus Christ, I'm old. But I remember you'd turn on the TV and it was all the people that your granddad used to watch playing. So you'd watch it and you'd be like, who the fuck's this old guy? And then your pop would have you on your lap and tell you, he scored 42 goals one season. He was one hell of a player. And the guy looked like he was riddled with arthritis. But then all the pundits are similar to Australia. So I'm just brought up an article here from the SEN, and it was the AFL Media Awards, and it was the top 5 most content creators for articles in the AFL. And them names were Caroline Wilson, Cal Toomey, Damien Barrett, Mitch Cleary, and Sam Edmund. Now, all 5 of them have got something fantastic in common. Not one of them fuckers has played AFL football. All right? So when you actually break it down, this whole concept of you've got to be a player to talk about the game is obviously a fallacy, because the media, like Caroline Wilson, can't remember her playing AFLW in the 70s. I mean, Cal Toomey, I haven't seen his name in the AFL record. Neither Damien Barrett, Mitch Cleary, Sam Edmund. And you look at the UK, they've actually embraced it, and you have no old guys anymore. And the reason being, you've got 2 avenues of thought. One is, it's woke, old people say silly things. But the general reason when you hear the pundits talk about it is the game has changed from the 80s. If you played football in the 80s, 90s, you have no place talking about football in 2020. It's a total different game, total different mindset. And they've started to bring the content creators in. And the reason is that's how the young people digest their information. So I'm with you both. I just think it's a very archaic thing. You look at Champ Starter, unless you've got a dodgy mate who's willing to share it with you, that is restricted to only players, coaches, and the media. Everything it's almost like, the way I describe it, it's almost like North Korea. AFL media is like North Korea. They control everything that comes in and everything that comes out, and anyone who's willing to change the narrative is quickly shifted out. And that's a problem, because then that goes on to great things. Changing the AFL draft, changing rules. If you've got no one publicly saying, stop it, they can control the narrative. So it's a very scary place where we are living in. Until the AFL open up, it's always going to be a very Murdoch-driven industry.
One thing, slight
Murdoch.
off topic
Hey,
here,
Val.
but
Good morning.
How are you?
The people you meet on the street.
There you go, mate.
On the internet, I should say.
Yuval, this is Woody. Woody, this is Yuval.
hello, Yuval. Nice to meet you, mate.
I'm Tom.
Hey, mate, how you
Thanks
doing?
for having me. Working from home today, so I just clicked on and go, what's going on? How come everyone's not at work?
We're just having a chat, and we're talking about AFL content creation, censorship. Woody, what were you saying? Sorry.
In terms of one thing that interests me in content versus statistics, because as you said, Champion Data holds their data pretty intently. We have a lot of like outside references that you can go to get information that the AFL doesn't release themselves. I'm very surprised that hasn't been cracked down on. And there's like places you can go to get like good heat maps, good sort of a lot of different things that the AFL just doesn't release, like sort of advanced statistics as well. So I'm hesitant to kind of give their addresses if we're talking about this and they do start cracking down on it. But it's one of those things where it's for that side of content. Like, we've got the AFL media really holding it like their grasp on it. But then you see them really crack down on, say, social media, but not the data that kind of they're hiding anyway, and kind of trying to keep it proprietary on. So for one, it's just odd for me, what they find important to crack down on and not.
Yeah.
It's Australia likes their monopolies. You know, it's different to the UK. You know, for instance, supermarkets. You know, like you go to the UK and there's 10 different supermarket chains. In Australia, it's Coles, Woolies, maybe Aldi, maybe IGA, and it's the same with the footy. Even in the US, you know, the NFL have their own streaming services, so you can pay just to watch Carlton content, you know, to watch games. We don't have to go through stupid Murdoch if we want to watch every game and free to air. You know, they're starting now with commentary, you know, having commentaries in different languages and whatnot. But it'd be great if I mean, it's the AFL as well. They like to have a monopoly. It's corrupt. They make more money. You know, they just got one license to sell, and they'll make trillions from that. You know, I mean, it's too much hard work for them to stream. You know, individual. You know, like Carlton Football Club were creating their own content. 10 years ago? Remember they had that YouTube channel where you had McClure and Thingo, and they just.
Well, the blueprint.
You know,
I
that was
remember it. I
really
was actually
good.
going through it today. I was actually going through the YouTube.
You know, I mean, every
today.
week you had Mark McClure, you know, one of Carlton's greatest legends, and he was always very critical and negative, but he was also very attuned to the changed style of the game, you know, and the sort of more, you know, you have to have the money ball. You can't just have the players. You got to develop a culture. You got to develop, you know, skills, blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, I grew up in the old days when basically, you know, in the 80s and Carlton, you know, oh, yeah, we'd lose Bruce Dool and we'd get Greg Williams, you know, because we just go out and buy them, you know. So, you know, it was always a matter of we'll always be good because we always just get the best players. Now it doesn't work like that, you know. But the same thing is, I think the media as well, we're still a bit backwards. How you know, sports media definitely. But I guess that's changing. Like, I mean, you guys are sort of disruptors, you know. You provide a service. It's a quality service, and Carlton supporters will come, you know, for the analysis, because I guess that's what a lot of us, you know, in the changed game look for, you know.
Well, it's the access too. I mean, I've had, to be honest, at the very beginning, I was like, I don't want to be putting the content behind a paywall. But as we've moved closer and closer into further and further into the future, it's like, oh, maybe it would be worth it to do so, because I mean, this is now a living. But at the same time, philosophically, I do believe that we should have access to this content. And if that means we just have to sit through ads, for example, on YouTube, then I think that's the right balance.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think as well, like there's a lot of creators that have done a lot of work in like being 100% original. A to Z Footy, if you've ever seen any of their content, really amazing work. And look, they're forced to be super more creative than they are. I'm guessing A to Z doesn't want to draw out every single thing, and that's to get the ideas that they want out there, and it's through like some level of revenue, I'm sure they're getting, but it's not going to be their livelihood.
No.
And it's through a love of the game. So for me, it's like if you've got people that are that creative and they're just making it happen despite the rules that they're facing, you got to kind of give them a break. You got to give them the tools to actually work and be more creative. I mean, putting those people that have these ideas behind like hurdles just means that they create worse products at the end of the day.
You know, it's funny as well. We just talked about the 5 journalists that didn't play football, but you look at the narratives as well. We've got something Yuval said. It's a real interesting construct of monopolies, because you look at them 5 journalists. I was speaking to a list manager the other day, and he was telling me quite openly, these draft rules, this is not the first time in his 7 years of working in the industry that they have threatened to make changes to trades and drafts this close to a draft. But it's the first time we know about it. And he said it's because it's Carlton and Brisbane, 2 massive, massive conglomerates, and also Adelaide. So it makes sense for it to be in the media to create a bit of dissension and something to talk about, because it's one of the biggest clubs in South Australia, one of the biggest clubs in Victoria, one of the biggest clubs in Queensland. But he said quite openly, this has happened 3 or 4 times under different administrations where the AFL have gone, oh, by the way, this is cooked, maybe we should change it. And no one cares because it affects North Melbourne or it affects Gold Coast or a team that 4 people care about. And there's another problem as well. We live in a culture where it's not worth reporting unless it pisses enough people off. So you look at the media, it's always Carlton, Essendon, Richmond or Collingwood, and there's a story in. But if that story involves Western Bulldogs, no one cares. I mean, if a Western Bulldogs player does it, no one cares. And it's really interesting because he gave me an example of the Bulldogs have sent Bailey Smith to Tuscany to do his rehab. And they were talking about that a couple of years ago. Collingwood sent a player early away. And it was in the media that this guy's taking the piss. He's meant to be injured. He's on the injury list. He's living life the other end of the world. But he was like, no media outlet has reported Bailey Smith is currently drinking wine and eating octopus since May in Tuscany while he's being paid $1 million a year to rehab. It's a real interesting thing that Yuval says, because it is a monopoly. The AFL media drives any narrative it wants, and we're at liberty. And that's why we exist, because the narrative we drive is Carlton friendly. That's why Jake exists, because the narrative drive is St Kilda friendly.
Well,
the media, though, still has, if in doubt, write an article saying Carlton is shit. If in doubt, write an article saying Collingwood is shit. Or Collingwood are good, because that will annoy 17 other clubs. And it's really, really, really obvious when you actually take a seat back of why them articles are wrote. Like, when you see them all Australian, they left Wheatering out because they knew people would read the article. If they'd put Wheatering in, everyone would be like, okay, cool, fantastic, boring article. Just do something to wind people up. And that is where we're wrong, because when you start leading media like that, you're going down a dark area of control.
There used to be in the early noughts on when Fox got the footy rights on Fox Footy to create content, they used to have shows just for, like Collingwood had their own fucking show because, you know, Eddie Maguire, of course, you know, so Collingwood and Essendon, and I even think they had, it was like, you know, Collingwood TV, Essendon TV, where, you know, they had shows that went for an hour or 2 hours, and it was just content that I think was created by the clubs. It makes you, I mean, you know, like I said, I used to watch that show on YouTube that Carlton put together. And then when they pulled it, I started listening to the Carlton show, which was Andy Marr, which was done through SEN, interestingly. So,
do you know why? Sorry to interrupt. Do you know why they cut that show, The Blueprint? Was there any communication at the time as to why they stopped doing it?
No, I think it was just financial. They just, I don't know. They probably felt no one was watching it and it was expensive to make. I mean, McClure, they were both busy because it was Andy Marr and Mark McClure. So they were both working, you know, in the mainstream media. You know, they probably didn't have time. But yeah, it would have been, you know, I mean, they should pay you guys, you know, to do a Carlton show. Well, their content's real rubbish. It's all just
we're nuffies, mate. We don't know what we're talking about. We're evidently the Antichrist. That would be a crazy idea.
Isn't Paolo? He works for SEN now, though, doesn't he? I saw they rebooted the Carlton podcast, the Carlton show? Because there was an
They've
episode
taken the
last week.
Carlton pod as a Twitter handle, but they're just doing like I guess it's a newer version of it via the SEN network. But I think the Carlton show is, the three of them, Andy Marr and Gex and Baz. If they ever do another episode, it'll just be sort of like, the old boys from the old Carlton show. But yeah, I think the next 5 to 10 years, I think now we've seen a bit of some groundwork's being done. I still don't understand why they didn't keep doing those shows back in the day. I still don't understand why there isn't a version of that sort of content around. Maybe it is too expensive. Maybe there's an element of trust. If you were watching the content from the club's socials where we've got fans, would you trust what's being said as much? Because we do live in a world where there's a lot of mistrust going around, like anything that comes from the club, most, I would say, are looking for a reason to pick it apart.
Yeah. I think they were more, though, reviewing games, after the fact, and previewing games. So it wasn't like they were leaking, this information or that, this coach is getting the boot or this player's on drugs or something.
I think
I feel you, I feel you, Terry, though, because I don't think I could. Honestly, if a major news network, maybe it's just the way I was raised, offered me money to stop doing YouTube and do it for them, I don't think I could do it because I've been so outspoken about it. I think I'd be the biggest hypocrite in the world. So I think personally, independent is the way to go because
has to be.
Because if the club offered me money, when I have a little rant and I call someone a CUNT, that would have to stop. And then a part of me would die. Do you know what I mean? I honestly do not know. And this is not a pot shot, so don't clip this and say Pom's potting people who do it, because everyone's situations are different. But my opinion isn't for sale. Do you know what I mean? And I'd be worried if I signed an agreement with Fox Footy for, say, that they'd want to start making me control a narrative, because the facts are the facts. When anyone who has been independent or done other stuff goes on these shows, they start becoming a shill because the dollar talks. The dollar talks, and everyone has a price for their morals. And I just think it's a slippery slope, man. A slippery slope. I would only do it in the English way, where I'm paid an appearance fee.
Correct.
And literally, if I piss them off, I never come on again. But I couldn't do a full-time show where I have an editor and a producer, because you just know after about 6 weeks, they would be like, oh, can you push this narrative? Okay, please, Pommy, please, lie for us. And that's how it happens, isn't it? Before you know it, you start doing it. And trust me, this is a dark, murky world. You do get messages encouraging narratives or being pushed for a narrative. And it takes a very strong individual to stick 2 fingers up. You know what I mean? Not many people have come on this show and said, fuck the Mathesons. I did.
Yep. Look, I kind of agree. It's also one of those ones where at the end of the day, if you go into that world, there's so many hands that are involved that even if you've got a good show, like maybe the boys did and took it somewhere else, you're eventually kind of at this point, as you've brought up, Pommy, of going, all right, well, I've got other people asking me to build, to basically write most of my scripting now. I've got other people that are approving the edit, not myself. I'm barely doing any of it anymore because I'm getting a paycheck from these guys on this network, and it becomes very hard to kind of get what you want out. Again, you're putting hurdles in front of people that want to make good content. And I think at the end of the day, you got to just let people do their thing. And I think that's where YouTube and these other platforms give you the brilliance of not having an exact timeline and kind of really letting you build out your ideas and kind of letting them come to fruition.
Yeah, the independence will always be the key feature as to what makes a fan channel a fan channel.
Yeah, definitely. Look, boys, I've got to run back to work fairly soon.
Mate,
So
okay.
thank you
Off you
very
go.
much for having me, and enjoy
No
the
worries.
rest of your days. I'm keen to see how you do tonight. I reckon the Blues are going to get up. But
All right.
yeah,
We're
enjoy.
going
We
Oh,
will
you're
be
a Geelong. You're a
Yeah, well,
Geelong
no,
guy.
I'm not in Geelong. I'm in St Kilda, and then I'm also a St Kilda fan. But I think you guys have got the Cats beat pretty easy. But yeah, have a good night, boys. I reckon you'll enjoy yourselves.
Cheers,
Thanks, mate.
Much love,
Appreciate it.
buddy.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I want
I'm
to be
gonna
on
put-
Fox Footy. How good would that be? Sure, eat the rich. Like, they'd invite me on once when I just completely
No, you're too no bullshit. Fox Footy, they're all full of shit. They're just biased. Like, for all the stats they show, they're just all the players they have. Kingy, he can't help being biased.
Yeah.
They all hate Cut. Like, only McClure was the only voice on Fox, and I mean, it wasn't that he was biased. He was just honest. He just said, Carlton are shit or Carlton are good. But McClure, it's McClure and Watley, but Watley doesn't have he doesn't follow a team. He just report. He's just a reporter. But all the rest, they're all just biased. Robbo's biased for Essendon, and
You feel it and you hear it in their voice. It's so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think BT's getting even more obvious with it the more and more I watch him and listen to him.
On Channel 7, Channel 7. Their footy calls are okay, but their analysis, none of them care about Carlton. They all hate Carlton. Like in Channel 9, 7, and Fox are the worst. All biased against Carlton.
Yeah.
But for Fox, I don't know. It's something. It must be Rupert Murdoch hated John Elliott. It must be something like that.
Well, it's interesting you brought up Eddie Maguire earlier because if when I look at it, the landscape that changed. I mean, media evolved when he was and he was at the forefront of it, but that was more the television era / early internet. I think we are moving into a new version of that evolution now, with more so with the internet than television. I don't know who's at the head of media at the very, very top, but Eddie is. Let's be honest; he'd be one of the major players there. I do wonder if that Collingwood bias.
Because Fox.
Yeah, go.
Sorry, I didn't.
I do wonder if
I guess with Fox, they have to Fox Footy. It runs 24 hours, so really they're only creating. The rest of the day they're just playing replays. So they're creating 3 hours content a day of footy. It's a lot of time to fill up content. So I would subscribe to them if they had a Carlton show. But there's nothing else that I've already given my money to Murdoch and told him to get stuffed. But they still monopolize, if you want to stream it with KO, and even like through Carlton now, I saw they've got a membership where you get KO and a membership. So they're still monopolizing your money no matter where. You can't get a different product. We don't have freedom of choice.
It's not a cashless society you want to fear. It's a KO-less society. They all want us to have KO.
Up the road from me here, there's a mob that sell the like the streaming boxes that hack everything, so you can watch the soccer from the Emirates and and they've got Fox Footy, like I was going to buy one, $200. I said, does it do footy? And he goes, yeah, here. And he goes and he's like, oh look, it's a football match.
Yuval, fuck the system, mate. Fuck the system.
Yeah.
Hey, Yuval, what are your thoughts about tonight?
We should win by, like we've won the last month, we should win by 5 goals. Really. There's not much to go wrong. We can't let, you can't let Tui and guys like that kick 3 goals unaccounted for. And what they kicked, the highest score kicked against us was with Geelong. So they haven't been scoring like that. So we don't want to let them play back into form. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Look, I don't know. We should. I mean, I reckon we're just going to come out and thump them. Really, from the first bounce. You got TDK in there dominating the ruck.
There's a bit of
Jeremy Cameron. Look, let him kick 3 goals. I don't know. You'll know early in the game how. Well, maybe not that early in the game how we're going to play. I mean, they've got their full strength team back. I haven't watched Geelong. I saw a little bit of the game where they got thumped in the Northern Territory, but I haven't been watching them. But I think they are a bit of bullshit. Like, I think they're not the team they think they are. I think they might have had a little spike. They're still dependent on all their old farts. So, who aren't going to be around that long. It's just we keep letting Jeremy Cameron, be at his best form, even when he's not. For some reason, we like to let these fucking players play well. He won't play any other good game all year. He's probably finished. But come to Carlton. Yeah, I know how to beat you guys. You guys are shit,
Yeah. Well,
so it's that sort of attitude, really.
I saw this last night. I didn't talk about it on the team show, but they've named Blitzarves in the ruck with... Where's the back? I don't think they have a backup. So do you think this is mind games from Geelong? Or do you think they'll end... Well, they can't name Reece Stanley because he's injured. Are they actually going to go with Blitzarves in the ruck against De Koning?
Probably.
They could do, though, because he's on the emergency list. I mean, everyone's worried it's the old late out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, even if Reece Stanley's in, though, Reece Stanley, honestly, as a ruckman, is about as much use as, do you know what I mean, ironclad underwear. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the fucking point? Like, if Reece Stanley comes in and it's Reece Stanley and Mark Blitzarves, TDK should put them both away all day long. Because Reece Stanley, I debate if he's even a professional footballer. But Blitzarves, he's a big version of Cripps that can play all around the ground. Like, TDK should be looking and going, I'll destroy these mounts on my own.
I mean, I think TDK is the best ruckman at the moment. I'm being completely biased as a Carlton supporter. I mean, he probably struggled a bit against what's-his-face from Richmond and Max Gawn, the monster ruckman. But against, what's-his-face from Gold Coast?
Jared Witts.
Yeah. I mean, he put him away. So, I mean, I'm actually, there's a lot of talk, these 2 ruckmen. I mean, I'll be a dissenting voice. I'm not a big fan of Pitternet, like a lot of people are. I mean, he's a big tap ruckman, but around the ground, he's a liability, And I didn't see the Geelong game, the last one. I mean, everyone says that was his best game, but we lost. I mean, so what's the big deal with Pitto?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's good that he's there as a backup, but how many teams are really playing with 2 rucks these days?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big. I know you guys all talk constantly about Pitto. There's a lot of love for Pitto.
I like you, Val, saying that I love Pitto because I've been copying hate recently saying that I don't like Pitto. Like, I don't know at the moment. I don't know where I stand. The comment section, I'm either a Pitternet fanboy or I fucking hate him. And truth be told, I couldn't give a shit. I'll be totally honest. There's a news flash for everyone. I could not give a shit.
I mean, it's good that he's there as a backup. At least we know we've got a good, a good ruckman.
That's what I like about the situation. It's that. I think Tom is growing into the best version of him, and I think he's a better all-around player. But where we went wrong in the past with Cruiser was we didn't have anyone to just help him get through a season.
Yeah.
cooked him.
Yeah.
And
You
so
had
I think
Sam
having
Rowe,
Peter
mate.
there,
What you on about?
oh
Sam
yeah,
Rowe.
puts the
No,
Tanter in the
what's
ruck.
his name? The guy we gave to Essendon. What's his name? The redhead.
No, we
Mr.
gave to
Andrew
Adelaide.
Phillips.
Oh,
Phillips.
Phillips. And
He was
Jacob.
world class too. We had some real good players.
The funny thing is with Essendon, the rule's always been everyone we get from Essendon's a piece of shit, but everyone we give to Essendon is pretty good. Like players like Setterfield, perfect example, And then we get Fantasia, well, he was Port Adelaide. I mean,
We did get Saad though.
Yeah, Saad's been the exception over 20 years, since the whole century. Saad's been the only good player we got from Essendon.
The best. Is he the best we've ever had from Essendon, would you say? That you've seen?
Probably.
Yeah.
There was, what's his name we had? Murphy.
Justin Murphy. Oh, yeah. Did he come from Essendon?
Or I think he went to Essendon. That's right. No, he went to Essendon. That's
I
right.
think he came from Geelong.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just get rubbish.
Oh,
from
Glenn
Essendon.
Manton. I didn't know Glenn Manton was a bomber.
Manton, a long time ago.
Yeah.
But we should never deal with Essendon. We just get rubbish.
Yeah.
They are the great Satan, of course, so we can't trust them.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Because did anyone see the top 5 most hated clubs?
Yeah, I did.
We are Carlton are number 1.
Who did that? It was Back Pocket. I'm going to get it up. Back Pocket Banter.
But did you see, right? Did you see? I felt validated because everyone knows I fucking hate GWS. Absolutely despise them. And GWS had us in their top 5 hated. It was so random, and I was like, told you they were dickheads. Everyone loves GWS. Complete dickheads.
GWS.
Because GWS are that one kind of mate that isn't your mate, that's your acquaintance, that you kind of really don't have in your top 10 mates. But he's kind of always there. But he's the one who tries to sleep with your wife. That's who GWS are.
Yeah, he's like one of those guys. Yeah. He's all right. And then do you know what I
mean? Like, you don't know why he's at every party. You don't know why he's out all the time. But then, when you have an argument with your wife, he's the one who slides into her DMs. That's GWS. The worst type of human.
GWS, I hate them, but I hate Sydney more just because they're always good and they always get benefits and bloody blah blah, and they've been in the finals pretty much the whole century. It's pretty insane how they've just never been bad. I mean, as a football fan before we had the national code, I've always had just an automatic hatred of these new teams that have come in and spoiled our party and our dominance. But GWS, I don't hate that much. And I like Gold Coast. I really want Gold Coast to sort of do all right.
See, I'm with you, Val, there. I don't mind Gold Coast. Like, I just feel like
players,
they don't piss me off. Like, I find it hard to be horrible to Gold Coast. The other 16 teams, I can say as horrible as things as you want about them. But Gold Coast, it's like picking on a child. Gold Coast, you just can't do it.
I mean, in the old days, you used to sort of have an interest in interstate because we'd poach all the best players, So, like, you got to remember, Carlton, in the late 80s, early 90s, half our team were South Australia's best fucking players, And you'd always look at, and we used to have state of origin, little thing, with Victoria plays South Australia and W, which they should have again. And that also helps you see who the really good players are. Well, that's how it used to be, And this was before the draft. You wouldn't get them as 19-year-olds. You'd usually get them as 22-year-olds, 23. You know what I mean? They'd already been, won Brownlows in Western Australia, and then you'd get them and suddenly your list is super duper.
What would you say about this list here? Any surprises? I don't know. I don't hate.
Oh, really?
St Kilda.
So people don't hate. Is that Carlton or is this?
No, that's what we hate.
This is
who we
survey.
hate.
This is who we hate.
I don't hate Collingwood anymore. I kind of made my peace with them. I've got quite a few Collingwood supporter mates. Essendon I hate. Richmond I don't hate. I don't hate Richmond. I'm more into. I hate the interstate clubs. You know.
Why the fuck are we in
West
Adelaide's
Coast.
list of teams?
West
we hate?
Coast. You know, I hate West Coast. West Coast I hate.
Brisbane have us as second. The Brisbane fans. Collingwood have us as first.
Let's look. What was Carlton's one again? Let's do our top 5.
Our top 5 is this is who apparently we hate.
Essendon should be number 1.
Yeah, I'm with you, Val.
I
Essendon
agree.
by a mile. Everyone who's an Essendon fan is a complete fucking wanker bar 2. Yeah, I mean, you're talking 2 out of 1,000 are all right. Essendon by Flemington.
Richmond, I don't hate
hate
Richmond. I mean,
Richmond.
who cares? I mean, Richmond. I mean, I guess they won 3 premierships lately.
Richmond, I think, for a geographical rivalry, but they don't really bother me. Number 2 would probably be Collingwood, just because their fans are so vocal and it gets me fired up.
Yeah.
St Kilda, I can't hate my missus barracks for them, but I hate them.
I feel you, Val.
Why?
I can hate them.
I mean, we used to beat them, but it used to just be like football practice playing St Kilda, and then in the Norths they just got Rewalt, and I went to that match where Pagan moved Favola to full back, and I was actually lucky to be in a box that day, and Gehrig kicked like 5 goals in the first quarter. You know, it was
wow.
It was so humiliating, and it's probably why I'm red-faced at the moment. But to get annihilated by St Kilda like that was just, I mean, that stuff scars you. You know, that's deep. You know, because you've seen a team that St Kilda were like always shit, and then suddenly it's like, nah, we're not you're fucked. You know, you're the ones who are fucked. You know, and you kind of realise how fucked up Carlton were. That point.
Yeah. So this is well, I don't really. I mean, Collingwood and Essendon, I can understand like the word hate. I don't really hate Geelong.
Nah.
I don't know. I don't have too much hate in me for other clubs.
It's more envy because all those teams are sort of like as good as
it's respect. It's the opposite. I do wonder how many people actually voted on this. Trying to think of the other clubs. Like I don't hate. Nah, it's about it. Honestly, it's just the top 2. But I want to go through the other teams. I want to see what the story is here. I mean, Collingwood standard. Fremantle. This is probably because of the.
So they all hate Carlton. Yeah, I mean, what have we ever done to them? I mean, it's not our fault. They're shit.
To be fair, we've broken their hearts after the siren a couple of times.
Right.
Some trades as well.
I mean, I find it interesting why people hate Carlton so much because we've been shit for so long. You'd think people would feel sorry for us. You know, I mean, a lot of this is it's kind of taught hate. It's not real. You know, it's like why would Port Adelaide hate us?
Why would Port Adelaide hate us?
Well, we're 4th. You know, I mean, there's no real history. It doesn't make sense, you know.
It's probably passed down, though, isn't it? It's probably passed down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's their parents are going, oh, they're dirty.
Do you know what I mean? You're not allowed to date a Carlton fan or you're out of the house, that kind of thing.
Wow, Richmond have us right up there. St Kilda.
Look at St Kilda.
You know, that one surprises me. You would have thought St Kilda would have hated Collingwood more than anyone else, but I suppose Essendon's about their level of football over the last 20 years, so makes sense.
Well,
Sydney is the first one that we don't appear in.
That's interesting because I hate Sydney. Well, we're just irrelevant to them because they keep beating us. You know, they feel sorry for us.
What have we done to West Coast?
We took Judd. That's
okay.
we took Judd.
We gave
Yeah, I
him
mean, they
Kennedy.
should love us. We gave them Kennedy and they won a flag. I mean, fucking hell.
And the doggies. I mean, this is interesting. Most self-loathing.
Carlton aren't even on there. We love it. Actually, I want to take a screenshot of that.
Yeah, get around it. Yeah, shout out to Back Pocket. This is great. I can see this from St Kilda. I can see that. I feel it every time we play. We talk to them.
Why has Adelaide got the Essendon badge?
Why does Adelaide have the Essendon badge? That's a good call. That's a very good call.
It's hurting my eyes. Quality banter, though. Just total disrespect. I love it. Well done, Back Pocket. Just disrespect clubs.
Yeah. There you go.
Sydney had self-loathing? Really? I was surprised.
Yeah, but when you talk to Sydney fans, they're the most annoying fans in the world. I would have them quite high up on my hate level because no matter how high they're flying, they downplay it to you, and they're the worst fans in my opinion. Like, I've got a few Sydney mates, and they're like, "Yeah, we've only lost one game, but I don't think we've been playing particularly well." And you're like, "Fuck off, cunt! You're about 20 points ahead of everyone."
Well, it's an interesting thing you say because I went to the Carlton Sydney final last year, and geez, some of the young Sydney fans, shit coming out of their mouths. I mean, they just thought they were going to win, but they were just bagging George Hewitt, going, "Yeah, reject Sydney player. Good on you, Georgie. Couldn't get a game with us. Look, he's the best player at Carlton because Carlton are so shit." That kind of banter. But the interesting thing going home was a lot of the Sydney fans are all old South Melbourne fans in Melbourne, Pom. So, you got all these young fans or Sydney people, Sydney siders, but they're all fans from South Melbourne. The same way Brisbane fans. I know quite a few Brisbane fans who are ex-Fitzroy fans. So they've got a lot of the, trauma from their teams, had to merge and become something else,
See, I don't count them. I don't count Swans as a team or Brisbane because that's like changing your support for your team. And that's
it's
like the lowest thing an adult can do is switch teams. So for me, Brisbane and Sydney do not count because they are every fan is a snake. You've chosen two sides by supporting one. Disgrace.
What's the cutoff in life where you are no longer allowed to change teams?
Never.
What if you like?
Hang on. Your reasoning, like I said, a lot of those Sydney and Brisbane fans were Fitzroy and South fans, so they haven't changed teams.
My question will be: are South Melbourne still called South Melbourne?
No, but they're like a big chunk. I'd say 10,000 of their followers are ex-South Melbourne supporters. It's kind of like North
traitors.
I mean, North. Well, not traitors. No, they just didn't have a choice. I mean,
stop supporting football. Do the right thing.
Well, they've had that thing where they can change their team, because their team's shit. So.
Mate, South Melbourne dies with you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I know interstate people that don't follow, Adelaide or Port Adelaide because they followed Glenelg, and they're going, well, fuck, I don't want to follow. And the funny thing is, interstate people, a lot of them barracked for Victorian teams. So I know people from Adelaide support North as opposed to Adelaide or Port, so they've stuck with their team as the thing's gone national,
That's commendable. That's what you're meant to do.
Yeah, so there's a team Gold Coast. A lot of the people, it's the Victorians who support other teams. Like, my brother's a Carlton supporter. He lives on the Gold Coast, but he actually got a membership for the Gold Coast because he can watch the games.
Kareem,
the dream.
Kareem the Dream is back. What's happening, mate? By the way, if anybody wants to join us, just feel free to come in and then just leave whenever you like. Danny's here as well. What up, Danny?
I'm good, boys.
How are you, mate?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We've got Kareem that just joined before you. Kareem, what's happening? What's going on?
Nothing, but just enjoying Carlton at the moment. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about tonight? Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going.
Nice. Danny?
Not much, mate. Just working from home. Saw that you guys were on. I was like, what's going on? So just popped in to say hello and just can't wait. Couple of weeks. It's been Pom. I've caught up with Pom. So, hey, Pom, thanks for having me during the week. It was a good sesh, but no, it's been good. Really positive today about the game. And I think we owe them one. So just can't wait. What do you reckon, Terry?
Yeah, I think we do. I got to say as well, I caught a little bit of your chat with Pommy. It was really cool to watch. I mean, I've known Pommy now for a little while, and so I know his story about how he, discovered the game. But it was really cool to see your story as well. And we were talking earlier in the show about attracting an international audience, and I think stories like both of yours. See you, mate. See you, Val. Thanks for tuning in.
See you, fellas. Carlton Blues.
Hello, Blues, mate.
5 goals. 5 goals. Last year we're losing by 5 goals.
Yeah, we've turned it around.
Now we win by 5 goals. See ya.
Yeah. See you, mate.
Love you, mate.
Bye. Hang on.
Me and Danny on there, two foreigners talking about the game, eh?
Yeah.
Aye. Who would have thought? This is how YouTube's changed.
Yeah.
It has. I don't know, Terry, if you watch a lot of cricket, but that's literally was kind of like soccer and cricket. Actually, like back home, if you watch soccer, you were like one of the cool kids because everyone just knew cricket and nothing else. So if you talked about soccer, you were one of the cool kids. But it was it's amazing when I'm pretty sure you obviously watched the video, but just coming to footy, and at the time I was like, you know what, soccer is like the sport where there's all the skill involved and there's so much more skill, more finesse and all of that, until I watched footy and I was like, this is finesse plus brutality. It's like crazy. The fitness level these guys have. One of my friends is like a physiotherapist, and I was having a brief chat with him about like, the level that they're at health-wise and everything. And he told me that they're like elite athletes and they suffer with heart issues and a lot that goes on after they retire. So they actually don't live a very healthy life if they have, especially if you're a midfielder playing into a lot of contest and, in those kind of situations, contested balls. So they do cop it. That's why I feel like they're underpaid. And that's just another kind of ones that I would open up, because if you compare them to soccer players, obviously it's supply and demand. But yeah, I feel like they should be paid a lot more, and they're worth a lot more than a lot of other athletes, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do a lot more. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's an underrated market as well, because I love Danny, because like I grew up in Yorkshire, so like we have a large Pakistani following and an Indian following. So as a Yorkshireman, they're like our second team in cricket. You either support India or Pakistan because of your friends at school. And they are the most fascinating people, Indians and Pakistanis, because they love everyone but each other. Like it's really weird because, like, in England, cricket is massively followed, but the rivalry's more fun. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for English with Australians, we hate them, but we don't really hate them. Like, at the end of the game, we'll have a beer, and it's just for the game. But, like, when you're at school and you've got an Indian kid and a Pakistani kid, they actually fucking hate each other. Like, it's like a rivalry you've never seen. And I had the fortune to go to an India-Pakistan game in cricket, and it is like soccer in the UK. Like, suddenly that atmosphere goes from a bit of rivalry to there is a genuine hatred. But I think it's an untapped market, isn't it, Pakistan and India? Because you guys are mental about getting behind your team. Like, the Pakistan national team in cricket, they're like gods, aren't they, back home? Like Indians, they are like gods. It's crazy to an Englishman that I remember Sachin Tendulkar playing for Yorkshire, and we just saw a young Indian kid. But then you spoke to Indians, it was like a god. It was like Jesus himself walking into a building. Like, we don't love our soccer players as much as they love cricketers. It's a crazy, crazy thing. But every Pakistani or Indian I've ever met, England is their second team. Like when they move there, they just fall in love with England and India, and it's them versus everyone. I think AFL would be huge in the subcontinent.
Oh, my brother, he actually came here for my wedding last year. So he came here and he watched footy. Of course, he's a blue bagger now. So he actually goes back. He went back to Pakistan and Dubai. He actually lives in Dubai, and he follows the sport. And he got so upset after the Sydney loss. He was like losing his shit. I was like, Terry, you should have seen him. He's like losing his shit, like most of the fan cams that you see after Collingwood lost. That was him. He's like, what is this shit? They're so soft. But I was like, they're not soft. They're just that they're a good team. And
had a bad game.
We had a bad. And I did not know in what, like, because someone who's only watched a handful of games, and imagine just being a Carlton fan in this year, like you just think that we win all the time.
Wow.
When we've seen, can you even believe, Terry? Imagine people actually, I would not say jumping on the bandwagon, but people who are actually like now only watching the sport and starting supporting the Blues and see how they play and the fight that they show. Like 12 months ago, Terry. 12 months ago, it's not that long ago. We felt like a win. I remember that Gold Coast win that we had just before the bye. I had not waited for the bye as desperately as I had at that time, because I was like, let's just bank the win and let's just go. And whatever happened at Kerno's farm, we've turned it around from there. I don't know what the boys did, but sometimes it's such simple things. I always think, like, Terry, like, I don't want to ramble a lot, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes it's just those simple things that kind of, you just born as a team, and at the end of the day, it's all hard. Obviously, it's system and everything, but then if you believe in each other, like how Wiedering, I think, kind of just makes me think that Wiedering kind of believes so much in the backline now that he can somehow come for the loose ball. And let's say, for example, his direct opponent lose and just, like, come and spoil the ball. Or if he stops up and comes for the contest, he knows that he has the backing of a McGovern and Kemp or Boyd to actually cover.
You there?
He's getting a phone call. He's getting a call.
No,
He's getting a call.
Yeah. Danny, I think what happened, reflecting now, I just think trust takes time, and to implement something into your subconscious takes time. I think because we kept having a new coach, a new system, it's got to go through the test of failure, really. So there's a little bit of that. I'm sure we're going to get a more detailed description of what was going on once these boys have retired. But until then, it's just a bit of a guessing game. Hey, Kareem, what's on your mind, mate? What do you got? What do you got on your head? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm just really focused on the game tonight. Like, I'm confident we'll win, but this is a good team, Geelong, so you got to take them serious. And on the day of the game, I'm just always thinking like how we can beat them and like how we can lose. So like, I'm just really focused on tonight. But yeah, I'm really confident.
How can we beat them and how can we lose?
No one's really mentioned this during the week, like media-wise, but I think we can really beat them if we move the ball quickly. Because I think there's like a stat, like they're like the second worst team in the comp of defending inside 50s. So like if we get the ball in there quick, I think our forwards can, not even our tallers, but I think our smalls can really get at them. I think Zach Williams is a mismatch. I'll put Zach Williams and Tom Stewart personally. I think that could be a really good mismatch on Tom Stewart. But yeah, I think our smalls can really get at their defense. And no one's really mentioned it, but I think TDK I think he can have a best on ground game again. So, because I think Reece Stanley's not playing tonight. And I think they got, is that Toby Conway? Is that the ruck they got?
No, he's also out.
Oh, he's out as well.
Yeah.
No, he's not the best 23. Yeah.
So who's playing as ruck for Geelong? I think he's playing Toby Conway.
Mark Blitzarbs is the only ruck in their team. That's who they've gone with.
Maybe they'll play Shannon O'Neill as well as second, but yeah.
Was he named Shannon Neal? I don't think he's...
No, named no ruckman.
And
Blitzarbs.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's changed it for me. So because Blitzarbs is a good ruckman, so like that's more even than just a Stanley or Conway.
I don't know.
Even Razi, like what's Razio's role going to be tonight?
The same role.
I'm confused with Arazi. Yeah, but that role, like, I know that he's playing a half forward and he goes inside the midfield and he gets like outside ball and stuff. But at Essendon and Port, he was like a deep inside small forward and he was kicking goals. Like, can't we return him to that role? Because I think at that role, him and Zach Williams together, I think they're smart enough to outsmart the Geelong defenders, and maybe Arazi can kick that 3 and 4 goals.
Well, we've covered it a little bit on the ratings with Orazio. They seem to have this want to have an extra number around stoppages, and they're bringing Orazio further up the ground. Always, if anything, he's playing a little bit more traditional. But having said that, last week he was further up the ground as well when we did the ratings. So I don't know. I am fascinated about this ruck thing because Blitzarves, they can activate him to play on Cripps at times, which they've done.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very clever. It's very clever by them because they've looked. That you can see Scott's looked at where they can hurt Carlton, and I would say that if I was them, knowing what Reece Stanley, Conway, and Neil bring you, they ain't giving you any dominance out of that ruck. So they've gone with the one way to stop Carlton contesting that area. I think it's a smart play by them.
Yeah.
It sounds on paper advantage Carlton, but I think in reality they've played the extra. They've gone, let's go extra mid, stop Carlton being able to dictate and spread. I think it's clever because Carlton, I think, have got the advantage back half of the ground, and we know the fallacy. Geelong are an interesting case. Daniel Hoyne slated Carlton at the start of the week, and it was quite funny saying we have the worst ball movement, 15+ ball movement, but he failed to mention Carlton are only matched by Sydney in scores from that area. And the difference between us and Sydney is 4.8 points. And we've played harder teams. So Daniel Hoyne has literally actually said Carlton are Premiership favourites because they learned to move the ball a little bit better. We would be fearsome. So I like Geelong's team. It's interesting. It's high risk.
But we can beat them in the midfield. That should be we should beat them in the midfield. They've missed Tanner Brune's a big out for them. Tanner Brune's a really big out for them.
I think midfield's pretty evenly matched, personally.
Really? With Geelong?
Yeah.
Terry's a humble guy.
I think so. I think our forwards is where we're going to give them trouble.
I thought with no Tanner Brune, we should get that. Even with Tanner Brune in there, I thought our midfield was way better. Because I remember last time, I think we smashed them in the clearance game. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
We did.
I think our midfield got up in them. And without Tanner Brune in there, and I think Tanner Brune's a really good midfielder for Geelong, I think we can really get the advantage in the midfield, especially if TD in the form he's in. But, yeah, you never know. Because Dangerfield's a really big in for them. So,
hey, I've got a question. Has Lockie Fogarty played against Geelong before?
Yeah,
since coming over?
I think he has.
Was it last year?
He has?
I think, was he in 2021?
I'll tell you
now. I'm thinking when we beat them in Geelong. I didn't think he was there.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, he's played one according to my stat sheet. I'll tell you when.
Once.
He's played.
Was it?
Here we are. 2021, round 17.
Oh, that shit.
Where he had a monster, 7 touches, 7 tackles.
That was a game when we scored like 40 points, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got belted. That was late in the year, I think.
No, I think it was like a 20-point game, but it felt like a 60-point game.
Geelong by 26.
Yeah, that felt like a 70-point game.
Which in 2021 was a quality result.
Yeah.
It was just Welsh. I remember he had like 35 and kick 2.
Yeah. No, I think
Jesus! Some of the players in this team for the Blues talk about trip down memory lane. Sam Petrescu, Seaton chap, playing on the ball with Paddy Dow.
I wish Samo made it, man. I love Samo.
Looking back now,
that game against Collingwood 2017, in the rain.
2016 AFL draft. Where did we go wrong in the 2016 AFL draft?
Let me bring it
I still think Samo was the right pick if you think about it.
I'm going to share my screen.
Setterfield went before. I remember we bid on Setterfield before Petrescu Seaton.
McGrath, Taranto, McCluggage, Ainsworth, Setterfield. So Petrevsky, Seaton, and then so if you're talking about like a mid-forward type,
To be fair, this draft is similar to this year's draft.
okay,
That the 10 players are almost copied and pasted of the player. It's the same player, slightly different. But if you look at this draft, everyone's bobbins. Like McGrath, is he really a pick one? Like you see these players in the AFL pick 200. Taranto, the guy touches grass, his knee explodes. Hugh McCluggage, quality. Ben Ainsworth, okay. Will Setterfield, meh. Sam Petrevsky-Seaton, meh. Scrimshaw, meh.
You don't rate Scrimshaw upon me?
Pardon?
You don't rate Scrimshaw upon me? I think Scrimshaw's really good.
Is he setting the world alight, though?
Yeah, for Hawthorn. I think
but the ball lives in their back half of the ground.
Yeah, true. That is so funny.
I'd have good numbers playing in the back half of the ground for Hawthorn. But then you look, Will Brodie, fuck me, Jesus Christ. Griffin Logue, he sounds like an elf's best mate in some science fiction movie. Ollie Floron, and then this is when it gets good in the second round. Tim English, Isaac Cumming, Jordan Ridley.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Parfit, Lipinski, Shai Bolton. Like that's where the good players come in.
Stuart,
Josh Battle,
that's a robbery.
Terrific footballer.
Tom Stewart picked 40. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's classic Geelong. You know when we did our video, Terry, that went on for 2 hours?
Yeah.
That is so true. I love that video, guys. Like that was
Mate,
draft masterclass. Loved it.
That's classic Geelong. Oh shit, we've got an all-Australian halfback flanker. Let's pretend he's injured and hide him for 4 years. Like that. Yeah. That is Geelong Football Club.
Look at Luke Ryan.
Luke Ryan, pick 66.
That's a robbery. Look at Larkin, 73.
Proof as well about father sons. If you got pick 57.
Oh, yeah, true. Josh Dacos.
And Josh Dacos was playing in an Oakley Chargers team ranked, right? Just let this sink in, right? His ranking, I've just brought up his draft. Of the Oakley Chargers, he was the second best player, statistically, in that team. And he was the 5th picked Oakley Charger. Just to prove how stupid the AFL is, that evidently someone thought Ed Phillips was a better footballer than Josh Dacos and Sam McClarty. Who the fuck is Sam McClarty?
Pom, did you discuss with Tez?
Yeah. No, go ahead, mate.
No, I was just saying, Tez, like when I had a session with Pommy in his show, he told me that Nick Dacos is, you know how Luke was saying in Footy Abroad that nobody bid for him? And then Pom told me, I think, a show before that, because I think he had a show later that day, and Pom was like, there was like under the table deals that were done, which actually prohibited the other clubs to bid for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was explaining, common, that some of these father-sons NGAs, there is outside deals. So it could be for an agreement to back a club in, or it could be another case that happened recently. Both clubs had picks before players and made an agreement that I won't bid on your player if you don't bid on ours. There is underhand deals that go on in trades that you will support us here. It's a real dodgy area, isn't it, Terry, the AFL?
It is a real dodgy area.
It's like they have like this window dressing, if you were to call that, like that is the AFL trade, but that they have this.
He's getting a call. He's getting a call. Danny Hazard is getting a goal.
Mate, how good is it? How good is it when you just learn to football chant every scenario?
It's interesting with these father sons, Pommy, that they started. I don't know who do you think egged on the AFL to really push on these father sons, like to make the changes as quick as they're thinking of making the changes?
Probably the teams that don't have as many coming in.
Yeah, but don't you think that's a bit hypocritical from the AFL to start listening to the teams that don't have, like St Kilda, for example, they don't have really enough academies or father sons. How can they not have father sons when they're like the oldest teams in the comp? Let's make that known. But anyway, yeah.
I think you've got to look at it this way: that if I was another club, and I still am, even though I'm Team Carlton, father sons is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. You are manipulating the draft because a player had sex. It's the most ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. But having said that, the rules have to be changed. I think with 2 trade periods, you can't just change it with 1 trade period. You've got to give teams to do it. But I understand why there's feedback about it, because 2028, you have Tasmania come in. If you're compromising too many drafts, teams are going to stay shit for too long. And Carlton were a victim, obviously, of GWS. Do you know what I mean? We needed a rebuild then. We had our punishment. Then GWS came in. So we never really got a fair bite at the top 10 players in the draft, which affects us. And then also horrific. It's a real interesting thing. The AFL draft is really the biggest Mickey Mouse thing in any sport, because if you fuck it up, you will be bailed out. Carlton should be punished for their draft decisions in 2017. You go and look at that 2017 draft, it potentially is the worst drafting and trading of any sporting club in the history of clubs. Jesus Christ. I think every pick Carlton made in that draft as well is actually appalling, apart from the Tom de Koning one.
Yeah.
I'm just looking here. Can you believe it's been 6 years since the 2018 draft?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Felt like yesterday.
So Walsh has played the equal most games with Lukosius from the draft, which is 108.
Blakey's played the most, I think.
Wow, Stocker. It just didn't work out.
To be fair, though, he's played a hell of a lot of games from that pick selection, hasn't he?
True. I was so sure that he was going to fit. I mean...
Yeah.
Paul and I went to Kareem, were you watching in 2019?
Yeah, I remember the trade going, and I saw Liam Stocker. I didn't know who he was, but I heard that he won the best and fairest for the Coach League. And I thought, Walsh is in that league.
The Norwich medal.
I thought because Walsh was in that league, he's going to dominate as well.
They don't just hand Moorish medals out, Terry.
Yeah. And he could kick left as well. So I was like, "Oh, we got someone that can kick on his left finally."
Oh dear, oh me. No, this is actually enough time has passed now where you can properly reflect. What are some of
Blue
the
Baggers makes a really good point as well. If you actually go down, just if you go down and just look, what draft are you on? 2018, aren't you?
2018.
Let's bring something that works with my eyes.
James Rowbottom.
But when you look at how clubs draft, it's genuinely scary when you do it. When you actually look, like
James
Geelong,
Jordan.
Geelong that draft, Jordan Clark, they traded him for decent returns. But look where they have their picks. Do you know what I mean? Darcy Fort came in, they sold him at a profit. Then you look at Sydney. Sydney will just be AIDS. Nick Blakey, academy selection. James Rowbottom, McInerney. Some teams are just really good at picking late, which is quite good for Carlton, because I think Carlton picking early is horrible.
The Swans have got 3 or 4 here from this draft that are literally now still in their best 22. Blakey,
Academy selection as well. Dodgy.
Blakey was an academy.
Yeah, dodgy as usual.
Blakey. Where's Rowbottom?
He was way down. I think he's 25, isn't it?
Yeah, he was up there.
25. McInerney. And I think there's one more. Zach Foote played 2 games, but don't know who.
Sydney are one of them weird teams as well that take the piss, and they do pick Geelong Falcons players up quite a bit.
Do you know what? This goes to the argument as well for father-son. Look, these guys are all father-son. Joel Crocker, Ben Silvani, Oscar Brownless. It doesn't always work out.
The issue
Yeah.
is, though, that a lot of father-sons genuinely are just bobbins.
Mm-hmm.
It's recently we've started to have some terrific things. So, I mean, like, you've got to look I think the DNA of you being good at something your dad did is really low anyway.
Yeah.
So the AFL adapts in rules. But, I mean, you've also got to remember that kids who are 18 now will have been conceived in 2004?
Yeah.
And look at how society has changed. Like, do you know what I mean? Having sex now is just normal, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be married. Do you know what I mean? Like, you go back another 20 years, you had to be married. It was frowned upon. Society has changed. So you are going to have more father-sons. It's logical as we get older. Do you know what I mean? It's logical. Like, but that's what we talked about, Terry. These AFL rules are set when a generation of people were different. And we're different. We're different humans.
It's true.
Surprise, motherfuckers.
How about this? Where would Brody Kemp rank now?
In that draft?
Yeah.
I'll say 13.
13?
Yeah.
Okay, let's play the game. Right.
Actually, Fisher that Adelaide guy, what's his name? Fisher something. Yeah, I think he retired, so like he's ahead of him. So
Well, he's out.
yeah,
I would say Noah Anderson. In my honest opinion, Noah Anderson's number one in that draft.
Number 1? Okay.
Really
for longevity. Matt Rowell's good, but Noah Anderson's not missed a game.
Wow.
Luke Jackson and Rowell were probably the same.
That kills.
Wow.
Tom Green. Oh, Tom Green's there as well.
Do you remember we bidded on both Liam Henry and Tom Green?
Yeah, well, that's what when Sauce was there.
Yeah, we bidded on both of them.
Actually played the draft game like it was a competition and forced them to use their points. I do remember. Wow.
I think he's easy in the top 10.
So one thing
if
I've
you were
noticed
redrafting it, you got to remember defenders are hard to find. So, like
right.
Yeah,
Matt Rowell, Noah
10.
Anderson, Tom Green, they're probably the exceptions because they're big body and kind of were big body from day one.
Yeah.
Right? Lachlan Ash, every fucker is Lachlan Ash. So I'd say that go against him. Luke Jackson, freak of nature, so he's probably high up.
Fair enough.
Will Day is cozying off the halfback line. I could do that if I lost a bit of weight.
Wow.
Oh, don't do it, Jazz. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Wasn't Brody? Oh, wow.
Because then someone will say, wasn't he an inside midfielder because Stephen Silvani never watched the people he drafted?
What I've noticed, do you remember how, so 2015, that's fine. 2016 was, who did we get in 2016? Samo Fisher. 17, we ended up getting
Darwin O'Brien.
Paddy Darwin O'Brien, but then later on we've gone and we've gotten Chera. In this draft here, I mean, we've missed completely by getting Sam Philp. Can you see any of these names as names that we could target in the future? Or are we not in that game anymore? Yeah, Glow.
I think Georgiades is one I'll target.
Georgiades.
Yeah. He's a WA boy, but I reckon if we offered, I think he could come to Carlton. And I think he'll be I think the money we're offering for Hayward, I'll give that to Georgiades.
I still don't know why Philp was taken ahead of Devon Robertson. If you were picking now, look, knowing what, I mean, hindsight's amazing. With this pick here, Philp.
Oh, that's easy for me. Trent Rivers.
Fair.
32, that's a steal.
Or Jeremy Sharp.
Yeah. Oh, Chad Warner, that kills me right there.
Wow.
That kills me. 39, that kills me.
Da-da-da-da. You know what, as well, just an interesting fact.
He's number one in this draft, is he not?
Chad Warner wasn't
he's number
an academy player either.
No, like right now, if you have to redo the draft, he's number one.
Yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying is that is just a good pick. That's not like Sydney could take him. Sydney have talent scouted.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, they've talent scouted that. They haven't cheated that one.
Sam Ramsey as well. Wow.
Frederick went 61. That's a good pickup for Freo.
Frederick went 61. Yeah, that's solid. Yeah. It kind of dies out a little bit.
You see,
Yeah.
if you play this game and you go past 40, everyone always shits on pick 40s.
Yeah.
If you're a good talent recruiter, you can find players. You can find great depth players.
Absolutely.
Great depth players. The Sam Philp one's ridiculous because at the time he was pick 53.
We picked up Sam Ramsey with 47. I just saw it. Everyone had hopes for Sam Ramsey. I remember
Carlton, one of his biggest
Ramsey.
highlights was fair play
Yeah.
to him. He came on the. Do you remember lockdown? And I played a game of AFL Evolution against Stocker, Fisher, and Sam Ramsey. I guess there's a message here. If you're playing video games, it's not going to work out.
This is a dangerous game though, but you actually do see like the difference in draft.
Yeah.
Because Carlton went, Stephen Silvani, one of the negatives with him is he went for high ceiling players all the time.
Yeah.
High ceiling players. That was his obsession. You look at St Kilda's draft last year, it's players that have got serious negatives, but potentially, if you iron out the negatives, you look a genius.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, when you draft, you can't do that. You literally can't do that. You've got to have a balance. Like Brodie Kemp is probably one of the few that worked out. One of the few that worked out that everyone made a mistake was against him. But look at how long it took. So then you've got to ask yourself, Brodie Kemp is a great pick now. Was it a good pick then when we needed an extra backman? Probably not, because you wouldn't have been planning on waiting 7 years.
Yeah.
That needed to bear fruit within 2, and it didn't.
Hey, remind me why our first pick in the 2020 draft was pick 37. Why did we
trade?
Yeah.
Sard trade. Oh, okay. We traded away pick 8, was it?
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's right. And they took Cox.
Yeah.
Wow, Corey Durden was pick 37. That's solid. Oh, it was Durden all road. That's right. Wow, the memories are coming back. It's a bit early.
These are always good because I've still got my lists of my draft rankings from these times. So it's always good just to have a look at the ones you got right and you got wrong. But fuck me, some of these picks here.
What have Sydney done in this draft? Oh, they don't miss Logan McDonald, Braden Campbell.
You got to remember that Braden Campbell, Errol
Academy.
Goulden, academies.
Okay,
Logan McDonald was a good guess. Well, an educated guess.
That's why I think the academy's more rigged than the father-sons.
It 100% is, yeah. I mean, you got Jamara Ugle-Hagen. That's the biggest.
Yeah,
that's the biggest cheat system in the world.
This is when it
Jamara
started.
Wasn't even at the NGA.
Yeah.
This is when it started. At this period in time, this is when the academies really started being great players.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise! You spend 5 years.
Yeah, doesn't matter. We got the best one there, Elijah Allen. So
indoctrinating kids, you're probably going to have success around this. It's fascinating. The AFL pretending they didn't see this coming, but
true.
A blind person.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's the father-son one kicking.
Yeah, got another. Yeah, the father's two in the top 5. Wow.
You look at the 2020 draft. That 2020 draft is like a bizarre one.
2021 draft must be up there.
Why?
No, like it's a really good draft. You see the top 10. Really
the 2021.
Yeah, really good draft. I'll struggle to see who's missed right now, apart from the North Melbourne one. But Darcy,
Elijah Holland was in that 2020 draft.
That's why I was doing it. I wanted to see him. Sorry, guys.
2020 draft. So yeah,
7.
I had him as 3rd best player in that draft.
Okay, see the pattern? Do you see the pattern? We end up like making a mistake in a draft, but we end up recruiting a player from that draft. So Chera, 2017.
And it's interesting. Our pick was that pick after in real life.
Yes.
The Essendon pick.
If we kept the first rounder.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go.
He would have went top 3, Elijah Hollands, if he didn't get the ACL.
Yeah. 2021.
Hey!
That's the
21.
Chera. That's the Chera draft, isn't it? That we gave up first round for Chera.
We gave up our 2021 first round pick for Chera.
Yeah, I think. And what would it have
Jesse
been like?
Motlop at 27.
Would it
Thank
have been
you.
pick 8 or something if we didn't give up our first rounder?
Pommy has the answer to that, I think. What was
Which
the
one?
pick?
Which
For
Carlton
Chera, we gave up Chera.
Was.
Yeah.
It was pick 8.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So in that draft you're looking at now with the Jason Horn-Francis, I'll tell you where Carlton's pick is.
Oh, wait, there's people here. I'm so sorry, guys. We've got Alex and Danny here. How are you, Alex?
Good. How are you?
How long have you guys been there waiting?
2 days.
15, 20 minutes. That's fine.
You're kidding. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've had my attention here.
Terry's a disgrace.
He's a disgrace. What's on your mind, Alex? Welcome back, Danny, as well.
Just looking forward to playing Geelong again.
Yeah.
Not very often you get to play against a team twice before you played against a bunch of other teams, but
True.
The pick in this draft is giant miss. So we did have pick 6, but it got pushed back with father-son selections times 2.
True.
So it's giant miss, or dependent on how people did it.
I reckon we would have took Gibcus.
Who was list manager here is Nick Austin now. We're at Nick Austin. I always had a feeling, because my 4th best player in this draft was my favourite player at St Kilda, the Naz dog.
Oh, yeah.
Wangani.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Naz. Absolutely. I've got a soft spot for South Australians and Tassies, but Naz was a big guy in here for me.
I've got a feeling.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
He smells like coming back to Carlton, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Don't take the piss, boys. Come on.
No.
I don't even
know
rate
how much
Rochelle
I like
that much as
Rochelle.
well, if I'm honest.
No, I reckon it's on. I have a feeling it's in my bones.
Rochelle was my boy this draft.
Oh, he's exactly what we need in that half forward line.
He was like, all we talked about this draft, Terry, was Rochelle.
Yep.
Rochelle's like a player we lack about like energy. Like Rochelle always brings like a lot of energy to every game he plays. Just
Hey!
What up, Carlos? Hey, we've got a crew now. Now we've got a crew. How are you?
It's a nice Friday.
That 2021 draft is everything wrong with the draft. Nick Dacos went after Jason Horn-Francis, Sam Darcy, and Finn Callahan.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
There's so many ways to manipulate it, Pom. You yourself said like Geelong can sit their players down. They know have a lot of potential and just act like they're injured. So there's so many ways to get around the draft. I feel like it's more a mockery of the AFL than the players exploiting the system, you know?
Yeah, I have no issues, like I said with you, that if you manipulate the system, like you should be manipulating the system. Like we all manipulate tax loopholes when we file our tax return. No one tells the truth on tax. And if you do tell the truth on tax, you're a fucking idiot. So you can quote me on that as well, chat. But you're always going to manipulate it. So you've got to close loopholes. Like it's stupid. Like the fact that we can manipulate a draft is stupid.
Yeah. A few points of order. First of all, Mr. Relato, I was with your boy Yanni this morning. Good to see you. Let's get some contributions from Carlos and Cos. Firstly, Carlos, mate, what's happening?
Not much, mate. Just working from home and similar to other boys, just popped in and hopefully I don't get any calls and get a chant. But yeah, looking forward to tonight, boys. Yes,
Oh, true. Anyone who gets a call here gets a chant.
Yeah. So I put myself on Do Not Disturb, so no chance. But yeah, looking forward to tonight. I think we're definitely a chance. I think similar to what Pom said, I think they've done very. John being very smart and dropping their other ruckman. I just don't think Stanley could possibly keep up with De Koning. So I think Blitzstars is probably the right match. And, but I just think, at the end of the day, we'll probably win by 20 points and I'd like to see Charlie potentially kick a bag, probably 5+, but he's due to break a game open, isn't he?
It's tonight. It's absolutely tonight.
Yeah, I've earmarked it. Going to be up and about when it happens, so very excited.
Very exciting. Cos, hello. Oh, we
Hello.
like
Well, first of all, I'm really grateful to be here. Like, I've never actually jumped on, so thank you very much.
you never jumped on here before.
Like 4 years ago when I was a bit more immature and like just a bit younger. So, but no, I hope you're all doing well. Like, I love watching the show and stuff. So, thank you, and yeah, happy Friday and happy game day.
Absolutely. Happy Friday,
Yeah.
happy game day. What are you feeling about tonight?
I'm pretty excited and optimistic about tonight. I think I've been a bit patient in terms of just waiting to really break the chambers, and I just want to see that game where I truly believe, where I think we are the real deal. I'm not saying the lid's on, but I think if we can get a win tonight, Friday night against Geelong, really cement our spot in the top 4 and play a good brand of footy, I think tonight will be the night where I'm fully, like, I'm on the train, mate. Like, I'm there, you know?
You should already be on the train. What are you talking about?
Of course. Yeah. Of course I'm there. I'm just on the back carriage. So, yeah.
You're going to be leading the pack if we win tonight.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So,
Jazzy?
When people say the train, I always just think of T-train the whole time.
T-train. Dear oh me.
What's wrong?
Jazzy, what's going on?
Not much. I'm just doing game day stuff with Tori, working out the logistics of everything. Question for today. You know, it's more than just a game. You know,
What
it's
is the
whole
question?
process?
What is the question?
Nanya.
Why can't you tell us?
Nah. Because what if I run into one of you, and then
Well, then
he's like,
we'll come
or
and
like
answer it.
or like someone in the chat, and they already know the question. You have to be like on the spot.
Fine.
Mate,
we
may
all-
I ask a question real quickly? Sorry.
Yeah.
Pommy, mate. I've always wanted to know this. Why don't you go to the footy games? May I ask?
Just a few restraining orders and legal issues.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, I'm only joking.
Yeah.
Jesus, why do you believe that so willingly?
I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah. I've always wondered.
Jesus, God, is that the reputation I possess over here? Nah, legit, mate. During COVID, we started doing the watch-alongs, and the feedback from the chat was so good. And my father-in-law lives with us, so we used to go together. So the fact he gets to sit here and watch me do it is really good. So yeah, it's a sacrifice but a reward at the same time.
So what about grand final day, Pommy? If we make it, would you be doing a live stream from the ground?
Oh, Pom. I feel like you have to be there. Like, I feel like if we get you tickets, you have to be there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about that.
Surely you can get
What?
and get him to record from the corporate box.
I think I have the most privileged position in the history of AFL that when we win a grand final, you'll just have shitty 30-second clips and the memories. I'm going to have 4 hours of being live where you can see start to finish and then go back. And when you tell your grandkids about the 2024 grand final, you can watch me watch it. Like, I always find that the fascinating thing when my father-in-law tells me about 95, it's just his word. Do you know what I mean? Like, he puts the DVD on, but I can't see how he was like. I can't see him punching the wall or fucking going mental. Like, you will be able to watch me do the grand final. So if the AFL give me a box or an area to do it in, 100%, which I think if the club has any respect for themselves, they will give me my own little private booth. If they have any respect or any compassion or any seriousness about them, they will do it. Like that should be facilitated, an area where we can do it from the game. But if not, I will be here. We'll make this look a bit prettier. We'll do grand final theme shit. And the only thing is, for Terry, I promise I'm not ending that stream. So we will be doing that. It will be pom till 4 a.m. I will be taking you guys with me to the toilet when we get in the Uber to Lygon Street, when we're doing shots, when we get into a fist fight on Punt Road. Like, you will be coming with me everywhere for that 24-hour. So them AVOs will be real when Carlton win a grand final. Still can't believe people thought I didn't go to the game because of AVOs. Come on.
You said it. I thought about this. If we lose, we make the grand final. If we lose, I would definitely only want to come home and be on the fan cams. If we win, I think we would have to do like, see you tomorrow, guys. We'll recollect our night because I want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Nah, people will be with me on the train as I come and find you. Bruh. The Pom Watch Along goes for 24 hours when we win a flag.
True.
I will be wandering from the final siren all through the night. I'll have hours and hours and hours of footage.
Wow, isn't it crazy? We can actually, for the first time in a long time, actually believe that we're capable.
Guys, I was
I've had
sleeping
the
last
vision.
year. I'll be honest with you.
Foilgrim's given me the vision. This is my promise to you. I will arrange for all the people that don't have tickets. We will have a BA private live watch along in a pub somewhere where we will have a viewing. You can come and have a beer with Uncle Pom live. We'll have a big screen.
True.
And we will do it live. Do you know what I mean? I'll get Frankie Say sax on the trumpet. And we will take over somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what's very common? You know, it's very common. When I was in China back in 2017, we made friends with, random people, and like they would go on this app called Do You, something like that, and it would just be them live out. It's just part of what they did. They take a little tripod with them, sit it on a table while they all went to pubs or bars and just drink and just sit around their phones while they're live. It was a thing. It was just accepted.
That's actually so cute.
It's actually a dangerous place. If you ever go on Twitch and you click real life, so there's a subsection on there called real life, right? So like you've got streamers, games, but if you ever go on real life, it's a fucking grey area, chat. Like, if you do it at 3 a.m, good luck, chat. Good luck.
Yeah, IRL. I mean,
I've seen some shit.
Yeah.
A question about the guys. The Lions game. I've seen a lot of people saying that Chinkota goes to Stewart, he goes to Holmes, he goes to someone else. What do you think? I know that Tom Stewart in some capacity is going to get tagged, but when it comes to just playing the Chinkota, what do you guys reckon? Who is he going to play on?
I actually think he'll go on Holmes. I don't think he'll go on Stewart.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Big. Isn't Stewart too big? He's a big boy, Stewart.
Yeah.
What about someone like a Myers?
I think Myers.
Yeah, I just think someone who can cut us up with the ball is someone you want to put a lot of time into. And I just think he's too dangerous to let him roam free. Sets up a lot of goals. So, yeah.
I still worry about Tom Stewart, though, because it's just
definitely
our inside 50s have not been good still. Like Sam Walsh is kicking inside 50s, borderline.
We don't talk about Sam Walsh's kicking.
Yeah. It was the game against Geelong earlier this year where it was like Matt Kennedy and I think Sam Walsh just kicking was just atrocious.
I feel like Walsh is one of those players though, like he'll be trash for like a couple of games where he can't kick the ball inside 50, but then he'll just have one game he just doesn't miss a target, and he'll have 7 score assists, kicks 3 himself, and be one of those crazy games.
Yeah, that's going to be tonight. Hope this helps.
Yeah. And kicks them all to Charlie.
It will be tonight. He does play well against Geelong.
He does.
Mm.
He has been he was tagged a little bit the last couple weeks. Not for the
Yes.
whole game, but like he has had a couple tags.
I actually like it though.
Especially in the Port Adelaide game, he was being really heavily tagged in that game.
How many touches did he have in that game? Didn't he have 30 plus touches though over there?
No, I think it was his second game less than 20.
Oh, really?
I think.
Yeah. I like that he's being tagged really because when it comes down to the end of the year, and think about prelims and stuff, someone's going to definitely put someone on him. So I'd like to see him work it out, and when it comes to a big game, he's ready to go. So always look, and he's always someone who wants to develop his game anyway. So better to do it in season than
agree.
try and figure it out in a prelim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to play a game?
Let's do a test.
Oh, here we go.
Who is this?
That's Chad Warner.
Really?
I know. I just assumed. It actually looks like it, to be fair.
It's not Chad Warner.
Oh.
Okay, can you show me again, please?
It looks like, I don't know, McGovern.
Are they all current players?
That does look like Chad Warner.
It does, though.
Yeah,
Are they all
it's current players.
Pardon?
Are they all current players?
This is a current player. We've already got one guess that was wrong.
No, Terry, you haven't guessed yet.
Oh, really?
One.
You sure? Oh, sorry,
Right.
my bad.
I
You
was
were
right.
You were
Sorry.
Wait, did I get it?
I forgot the rules. No, it's not Chad Warner, but yellow
But
in the
they-
team. color.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Got it.
There's your rules.
Oh.
So yellow
okay.
in the team means they share a color. Yellow in the state means they border the state. Yellow in the position means it's a partial match, and yellow in the other column means that they're within 3. So it's got red or white in the team colors, a bordering state to New South Wales within 3 years of 2020, and then 3 years of 20. Yeah. So
Wait, so it's either, it doesn't have to be red and white. It's like red or white. Right?
correct.
Yeah, okay. Can you go back to the image, please?
Oh yeah.
Could it still be Mitch?
That's what
This
I
sounds
said.
like this sounds like
It's not.
a review
That's
on
not
the cricket.
Mitchell. Mitchell.
These
Mitchell
old
who?
photos.
McGovern. It's not Mitchell.
Wait, debut within 3 years of, so it could be 2017, 18, 19, or 20. If that helps. A Brisbane, a Queensland team or a Victorian team?
Team, yeah.
Or South Australian, right? They bought him.
Well, no, because it has to border New South Wales.
Hmm.
Wait, does South Australia border New South Wales?
Pretty sure they do.
Damn it. It's tough. It's taller than 185 centimeters. A lot taller than 185.
Tom, what's your
Darcy
game?
Cameron
Darcy-
with those ears, I reckon. I don't know.
Hey.
Oh, the Victorian team.
Yeah,
Okay.
Victorian team debuted in 2018. So someone from potentially a 2017 draft
Mm-hmm.
with white in their team colors.
Show me that again, Terry, please.
Mature age recruit between 23 and 28.
It's hard, actually.
Who is that?
Could it be like a Geelong player or something?
It's a Geelong. It's not Carlton. We would have picked it up. I would have thought.
Well, I don't know because that's like one of their photo, like it's their team photo, whatever photo, profile photo. So you got to think of someone that sits like that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we would have got it if it was Carlton.
It's someone who wears a number less than 14.
Less than 14.
Yeah,
Very low number, right? Because it's within 3 of 1.
correct. So it's like between 1 and 4. Jaden Stevenson. That might be the one.
Oh, hang on.
Does he have that big ears? Jaden Stevens.
Ah,
Wow, very good.
Wow.
very good. Who was that said that? Percy Bolondo.
Oh, do they only give you one a day?
Yeah.
One a day keeps the doctor at bay.
Have you seen this game?
Terry, where do you find this stuff?
Don't worry. So we have to type in the player's name within 30 seconds. I'm going to put it on like hard. All right. That is not Trent Rivers, the other one. Sparrow.
Yeah, very good.
He's on. Here you go.
Lockie Scholl.
Lachlan Scholl, in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's the one.
Oh, maybe I should go. Maybe I should go to expert. Gary
Stewart,
Rowan.
in it.
Yeah.
In Tom Stewart. In Tom Stewart, 23.
I think you're right, Tom, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I actually thought it
I'm
was.
sure he wears 20 something, but it could be Gary Rowan.
Yeah,
Gary Rowan, guys.
Go where you got.
Oh,
Shock.
A man that loves to spend some time in the physio's chair. Subtle.
oh.
I don't care. I don't even know.
Is that Reed?
37.
Zach Reed?
I'm sure it's someone obscure.
Oh.
Nick
Oh,
Martin?
Was it Jake
Oh,
Kelly?
how do you
Nick
not
Martin,
know?
yeah.
Wait,
Oh, he
let's,
was a
go
rookie,
to,
wasn't he?
let's go to expert and let's just roll this. Oh, that's Jack Billings.
Best in the league.
Oh, yeah, that's good, Terry. That's good. So
You
confident.
can't get over Jack Billings' best game. He happened to be against Dust. He hasn't done anything since. He's just very tough. Kills me every time.
All right, last go. Zach Tui. No,
Yeah.
who is it? Zach Tui?
Oh, Atkins. Oh, no. Am I wrong?
It's not Zach Tui. Wait.
No, is it? I think it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't have a clue.
What's Jake Waterman? He's a high
Yeah,
number,
I
isn't he?
thought that was Jake Waterman too, but I don't think it is.
No.
I think he's a bit higher, maybe.
Isn't he 40 something?
Yeah, I know it's a big number. It's a bit of a piss take number.
31. Oh, this is tough. I want to play again. Can we give up?
Yeah, you can press give up.
Right,
Baby
chat. I've
Williams.
got to go. But I love you. Enjoy
All right, mate.
tonight. I'll see you tonight.
See you, mate. Take it
Bye,
easy.
Mom.
All right, I'm going to play one more time. I want to get in a roll.
This is Rochelle Easy. No.
Nah. It's like Dawson? No.
Dawson's 20 something.
No. Everyone's saying Dawson though in the chat.
Really?
It is Dawson.
Oh, okay.
That's
Is it Errol?
Errol.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
Errol.
Yeah.
That's Errol. I know that.
Okay, great.
Errol.
We're going to beat 4. Shay?
Shea Bolton, yeah. Yep.
Haywood?
That a mighty
Will
or no?
Is it Haywood or is it Rowbottom?
It's Haywood.
Haywood.
Yeah,
Thank
nice.
you.
Wow.
I know my Swan players very
You do?
well.
The Sydney
Yeah.
best. Kai Lohman?
What's Ashcroft, is he?
Nah. I think it's Kai Lohman. Or is it Fletcher? No, Fletcher's 28. I'm pretty sure it's Kai Lohman. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, good. That's a high number for a
Yeah, for a random name.
yeah.
Oh. Jimmy Webster? Anybody got a better guess than Jimmy Webster? Nah, great.
Tez is on, mate. He's on.
I'm on here.
Locked in.
Oh,
isn't that Tom? That's
Yeah,
not hard.
Tomahawk.
The Tomahawk.
Tomahawk.
oh, that's I just said his name. Jasper.
Fletcher.
Tez,
Hey, we're on here, guys.
you on?
Texas 13, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Worrell? No, Worrell. Oh, I don't think this is right. No. Oh, Peddler.
Hey,
Whatever.
That was good.
We're taking
was
dub.
good. That was good. Before we wrap up, let's go through and give some predictions of what's going to happen tonight.
Lalas.
Yeah, Lalas. We'll go around this way. So Danny, Carlos, Cos. Oh, we lost Alex. See, Alex. Yeah, Danny, what's the story of tonight?
Story of tonight, I think I said it in the Palm show as well. I feel like Zach Willie is going to score 4 today. He's going to
wow.
score. Yeah. And I felt like he's going to play on Tom Stewart. I think someone just before mentioned it. I feel like that's where he plays because he have this defensive prowess in him as well. He kicks 4 and is best on ground. No, actually, he kicks 4. Best on ground is going to be TDK because he doesn't have a designated round that's playing against him. Yeah, because he doesn't. It's a big gamble that they've done. I still feel that they play Stanley. I feel it's they're just trying to play like those mind games. I feel like Stanley plays and we kick best on ground by I think 30 disposals for TDK and we win by 4 goals.
Wow.
That's big.
That's
That's a
a
big
good
night.
Lala.
Carlos.
I'm going to go left field. I'm going to go Orazio to kick 3. I'm backing him in, giving him a chance. And then I'm going to have George Hewitt get 25 plus and the Blues win by 20.
Love it. Cos.
I reckon tonight, Lockie Fogarty kicks 2.
I like it.
Nice.
Charlie kicks 5. No, I'm joking. Maybe 4.
I had him as 4 as well.
And I think we'll win by about 3 or 4 goals. I think it'll be pretty tight for the majority of the game, and then in the last quarter we might just chip away, get a bit of a comfortable lead. Player of the game, I reckon Adam Sard.
Love it.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
Yeah.
Jasmina.
My Lalas have already been posted, but I've got us winning.
Yeah.
And I've got us winning by 31 points. Charlie kicking 4 or more. And I'm gonna put Cripper down and Alex down for a goal each. Last week I had Last week I had my Lala as 9 individual goal scorers, and I think we had 10.
Yeah. Isn't it scary that Charlie hasn't kicked a bag and he's still equal top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's going to take Coleman by the neck, I reckon, in the next couple of weeks.
To be fair, we've only played hard teams right now. And I feel like when we play against North Melbourne and then West Coast and all those teams, I think that's when he kicks doesn't a Marty and kicks a 9 or an 8.
I think he may kick 9 next week, guys. Hope this helps.
Oh, true.
Richmond at all.
Oh, we got the Tigers next week, don't we?
Yeah.
You reckon, would Dusty retire by then?
I hope so.
Oh my god.
Sam, hey mate.
How you going, boys? How you going, girls? Guys, everyone?
We're good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just the week. I just thought I'd call in, say hello, give my prediction. I reckon we'll get them by 30. I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie kick it back, get it up.
He's getting a goal. He's getting a goal.
There had to be one before the end of the show.
He's getting a call, like literally getting a call. You there, Sam?
Oh, sorry about that. Got the old phone call. if only Pommy was here to witness.
Oh, amazing. So
right.
Blues by 30 and
Yeah,
Charlie for a bag.
Yeah, mate. Why not?
Where are you at the moment?
I'm at work, just in the excavator.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. If you
Yes,
are we all
prediction.
my prediction, Carlton by 17,
There you
Elijah to kick a goal, Durden to kick a goal, Saad to have 25 possessions and best on ground. Yeah. Oh, Cripps will play well because he's not going to have Blitzarves anywhere near him. So Cripps to put on a show tonight.
Love that.
Get around it.
Yeah. Gate 3, besties, what are we doing before the game?
Yeah.
Where do we need to be?
Besties at gate 3 before the game from about 6 o'clock.
From about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and then after the game, we'll be at gate 3 again, pretty much probably like 5 minutes after the final siren. Give me time to get out.
Cool. Pommy will be doing the watch along. I'll be doing the fan cam. It's going to be a late night tonight. So hopefully see you all there. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Bye, everyone.
Go Blues.
Blues.
Go Blues.